Did you hear the pressure?
I heard a pressure release.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's not necessarily true. That could have been a vacuum.
It could have been, but I felt the air shoot out.
Did you?
Now, smell that. When a bung is in the vapor layer of the barrel.
Oh my gosh.
Let Troy smell that. So just, if the bung's wet, it's the whiskey.
Right.
If the bung is dry, if it's in the top center,
Oh my goodness.
it's the vapor layer of the whiskey.
If you poured that over with chocolate.
Actually, let's just pour it all in there, then you can pour that into the other glass.
I will. All right.
That'll save us the gymnastics.
We call that a Charles pour right
Look
there.
at that.
See, that's-
Look at the color of this. This is, wow.
Yeah, I got it all over my hands, and so you can kind of, you can smell it evaporate off your hand. And
So what are you looking for here, Seth?
the truth.
Because the barrel will tell you.
Yeah, well, the whiskey will tell you too. You know,
Maybe that's what I meant.
well,
is,
and people think that, sometimes I think that's kind of cheesy, the whiskey's telling you what to do, but it really does. I mean, you put whiskey in a small barrel, and the whiskey said, I didn't like that, because it just wasn't as good. Yeah, things can happen faster, but time isn't the ultimate decider. You want your whiskey to be its best.
Oh my goodness.
Troy, can you film and drink?
I don't know that I can film and drink, but I'm a rye guy, and I'm not going to miss this.
And it will open up as it's in your glass. It'll kind of, the nose changes a little.
All right, so that's the shock the palate one there.
Yep.
I already did that. That was
Yeah.
the first thing before I even sniffed it.
Yeah, no, my had to shock mine too. That's the first anything I've had today.
Proofing right now, do you think this is, I'm guessing that's 118-ish?
I would be surprised if it was that high.
Is it?
Yeah, I think my proofometer, I think it's probably in the 114, 15.
Okay.
So Charles, I'm looking at the legs on this thing.
Very oily.
Oh my goodness.
Look how oily that is.
Yeah, and that's not
Look, it
fusel
just
oil.
coats. And so
That's super
So
important.
describe that to the viewers.
Well, you can have oily whiskey and it can be fusel oil. And fusel oil smells like, wet cardboard or something like that when it comes off the still. And I don't like drinking whiskey with a lot of fusel oil in it. I think it, me personally, I feel like it gives me a headache and makes me not feel so great because it's probably not the best thing to go into your body. And this is all heart cut distillate, so the oil is from the oat, not from the tails.
Okay.
So it's not a distillation cut that makes it oily. It's the actual ingredients.
You know, we covered that on one of our shows. Remember, we were talking about the cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that, how, maybe sometimes a distiller, they're trying to extend maybe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they go a little bit further into the tails.
Yep.
Or maybe they cut a little bit earlier on the heads, the head side of it. And, they got this wider range that they're pulling from the hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit about that as, you get sometimes in one's giving you a little bit of a headache and whatnot. But truly, pure hearts is what you really want.
It is. And the heads are the same problem, obviously. So we do a big heads cut and we do a big tails cut. Mm-hmm. And then we go ahead and run those both off and combine them. And then over time, we'll have enough of that left to then do a special distillation. And you get an immense amount of heads, super high concentration. But then when it goes to hearts, it is the sweetest, most perfect little, and the hearts are very, very, very short, but oh, they are really something.
I love the finish of this. I'm not getting the big oakiness yet. I'm getting enough to make it happy.
So totally coating my palate, which you typically don't get in a rye. The rye typically come to the front.
Yep.
And so this one here, the finish, it's truly covered my entire tongue. It isn't creeping back into the throat area,
No.
but it does have a hug. So I'm going to say 105 to 110 somewhere, and it merely a guess. I'm thinking that's where we are out of the barrel. I like the finish.
And I get a dark chocolate hint in there for a moment, but then it'll dissipate.
Yep.
And it's like the cocoa and the mint sort of parallel themselves there for a moment.
This really needs a splash of water to really find out.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get down so I can get some water.
To open it up.
I didn't.
Just saying, we lowered the proofs on these. I would say we probably dropped it below 100. I think we were probably in the double digits because I put a little bit and I put a little bit more water. My guessing is it was in the 95-ish range.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think. But just based on what happened when we added a little bit of water to it, it opens up. I don't think it gets that, your mouthfeel, the coating, it kind of got thinner. But what you get is a more pleasant finish. The full strength was just wanting to hang a little bit back here. Not bad, I mean, it's not harsh, but you knew it was there. And now that it's proofed back just a little bit, it's just a smooth sipper. And the chocolate, I think, opens up. The cocoa, I don't say chocolate, no, cocoa. I want to say it's cocoa-ish.
Yeah, so kind of interesting you say that. And we talk a lot about, is it 1 cube of ice you want? Is it 2 cubes of ice that you prefer in your bourbon? You drink it neat. So I snuck up on mine. I actually proofed it down 4 particular times. I'm going to believe mine's down in the 82, 84 range. And it's really chocolatey. More chocolatey so than I've ever tasted in a rye. And Seth, what do we attribute those chocolate notes to in a bourbon mash?
Well, for us, it's intentional. I like it, so I make sure that we use the roasted malts that give us those chocolate flavors. Not to overpower it, but just to augment, because you think about common flavors in bourbon, it's cherries, vanilla. Wouldn't chocolate be a yummy one to add? I mean, caramel's common.
Yeah.
It just works.
Right.
And this particular whiskey, when I was thinking about how I wanted it to in general, how I wanted it to turn out, I mean, you can never really know. You have to just wait and see. But I wanted that chocolate note. That's sort of my signature. I really try to put that in everything that we do. And it's a flavor that has a mass appeal. If you look at the numbers, and I would also caution on ice because you're changing the temperature of it.
Well, that to me, so this was kind of interesting. This is in Alabama. We're not in the summer by no stretch of the
No,
age
but
right
it's
now.
100 degrees when we feed it out.
But this is fairly warm juice, and I was wondering, what really, because look, some people would kind of go on a vacation during the summer on bourbons because they don't like it. But I like it on the ice. I do like a cube of ice because I'll sip that cold juice. And I think you're right. I think this one could change as that ice melts and that flavor profile moves with you. And I'm going to throw in my little bit on my cigar stuff here. This, I believe, if you would get maybe something with a Nicaraguan blend would probably pair out pretty well with this, just on a palate. And I don't think they would compete with each other on the palate. So, I don't know, just...
It's kind of interesting because we learned a little bit more about Seth, and he has a passion for cigars also.
I do love
Yeah.
the leaf.
There we go.